going to be presenting the human rights issues in Kass Ghayouri's An Era of Error. So, racism. So, Kass Ghayouri's first place award-winning novel, An Era of Error, needs to be studied in every classroom worldwide because it deals with the profound issue of racism. It teaches students to stand against racism in their schools, communities, and country. An Era of Error places value on diversity and explores profound issues of racism, which has had an impact on people worldwide. This brilliant novel teaches us that harassment around race, culture, and ethnicity should be stopped. And a quote is, "Our extremist government breeds hatred, exploitation, separatism, racial supremacy, and vigilantism." And it's just continued. So, who better to learn about racism than from an author who lived through the brutality of racism, author Kass Ghayouri. And another quote is, "I experienced the horror of the apartheid system in the conjunction with pain of Frida hiding in the spice pantry." So the human rights issues in the novel. So Kass Ghayouri's An Era of Error is an important tool in the classroom because it addresses human rights issues and topics such as freedom of speech, protection from discrimination, feelings and rights for everyone, racism in South Africa versus racism in Canada, awareness of cultural equality, racial and ethical discrimination in human rights, racism in the workforce. So freedom of speech, there's this quote. She was dealing with immigrant refugees who had escaped from nasty political situations, yet she behaved and mimicked an authoritative behavior. And another quote for protection from discrimination. When the law itself was racist, it was easier to just accept than discriminate. When the law itself was racist, it was easier to accept than when discrimination was done in such a kind manner. Feelings and rights of everyone. The impromptu interrogation began, and I feared the horrendous mental torture. Our human rights were violated as the interrogation storm began. So racism in South Africa versus racism in Canada. Racist attitudes, assumptions, stereotypes, discrimination, and institutional racism. Awareness of cultural equality, racial and ethical discrimination, and human rights. So as a member of an ethnic minority group, this racially oppressive environment narrowed my viable career options. And this seemed like workplace discrimination. There was a lack of appropriate accommodations for racial and ethnic minorities. I confronted Larry with this problem. Racism in the workplace. I believe that Larry was classically conditioned to see minorities as only clients and not as a figure of this power position. An immigrant's experience of racism. These are quotes in the book also. This was my first encounter with racism in the host country, although it was not stated in the law as in South Africa. And there was a lack of appropriate accommodations for racial and ethnic minorities. Each year in Canada, we celebrate International Human Rights Day, International Women's Day, and International Day for the elimination of racial discrimination. And in Kass Ghayouri's An Era of Error, it pays tribute to human rights, and it commemorates the Declaration of Human Rights. It explores the international human rights issues and teaches students how to raise awareness of these issues of human rights. In conclusion, for students interested in exploring issues of human rights, Kass Ghayouri's An Era of Error is a must-read. I have to admit this is one of the very few books I've read and entirely understood because it was so interesting. Author Kass Ghayouri compares the to author Alan Hayden, according to Reader's Choice.
Thank you.